Well, what's up, everybody?
What's up?
Welcome to another Victory Experience podcast.
Yes.
If you don't know who we are your hosts. I'm Bishop John, and who are you, girl?
I am Pastor Isha Edmondson.
And
you're Victoria's Secret
that's
model.
the common
and
theme.
And who are you to me?
I'm your boo thing.
Yes,
But we're your hosts, and we're excited to be with you in this podcast. This podcast is a way for us to just dialogue and have some fun and chat and share and be transparent. And, Pastor Isha and I, we're certified Christian counselors, so we bring a little counseling flair to it at different times.
And we pastor one of the best churches on
One
the
of
planet.
the phenomenal churches on the planet.
Victory in Christ Christian Center. If you're ever in the area, come check us out.
Yes.
We're located in Westville, New Jersey,
Yes.
Bedford Township, literally 5 minutes across the bridge from Philadelphia.
Yes.
Across the Walt Whitman and the Ben
All
Franklin
of them.
Bridge. Yes.
All of them.
Yep.
All of them. And we've been married for 32 years.
Been together for over 40.
Woo, 41. Come on, 41.
Over 40
and so
years.
we're excited, man. We talk about all types of things, and we're so
Yes.
glad that you joined today. Hey, listen, if this is your first time, would you subscribe real quick?
Yes,
Would you do that right now?
subscribe.
Would you subscribe and share it?
And share it.
Get
Tell
the
everybody
word
else.
out.
Yes.
I promise you, what you're going to hear today, and if you go back on the other podcasts, others need to hear it. You're going to go, man, so-and-so needs this, so-and-so needs that.
Yes.
So go ahead and just be proactive now and get that done.
Yes.
But let's dive in. Let's jump in. We want to talk about, man, it's a new year. It's a new year that we're in. And the theme for our church is kingdom alignment, aligning our
Yes.
personal lives with the kingdom of God and the agenda. And if you're going to do anything great, man, it takes more than just you to do it.
Yes.
And so today we want to talk about it takes a team. And when it comes to that team, are you communicating or connecting? When you have a team, your communication with them and more so your connection with them are vitally important. And so you can have people around you that you communicate with, but you're not connecting with them. So let's talk about that. The people in your circle, the people in your square, the people that God brought in your life to help you do what he's called you to do. Are you simply communicating with them, or are you connecting with them? And foundationally, if you're going to build a strong team around you, you got to see the people's strengths as complements to your weaknesses, not threats to your position or authority.
That's what helps us to connect with them, right? Versus just communicate.
Yeah, that connect with them. Yeah, because all of us have weaknesses. All of us have weaknesses. None of us have just all strengths. And you got to be able to see other people that'll be put in your life that are strong where you're weak, man. You can't be threatened by them. In this church, you and I have strengths, but there are other people around us that are stronger in things than we are, and we're not threatened by them. We embrace them. It's what makes us better. So everybody is part of a team in some way, right? Everybody. And so as a marriage, we're a team. We're a great team, by the way. We're a team. We're a team. When today we call it work family. Work family, right? But you're people that you work with, man. Your colleagues. That's your team. Even here at Victory, our church, man, we have the volunteers. We all make up a team. We make up a team, and so you have people around you that are part of the team. But if you're going to turn around and have a great team, you have to have great communication. You got to be able to communicate well, foundationally. It's not the end all, the be all as we're going to look at, but
it has to begin though with
it has to begin with communication. Even marriage, marriages fail. One of the number one reasons
that marriages fail is because of
communication.
Yeah.
Well, I would really step out and say the reasons relationships fail.
It's really lack of proper communication.
Right.
Because a lot of, you can have some even couples that's like, well, I'm communicating. I'm telling them how I feel.
Yeah.
But it could be that they're not communicating the correct
way. Right.
Because one of the things that we talk about is to speak the truth, but it's to speak the truth in love.
Yes.
And somebody said, well, I'm speaking the truth. I'm telling him like it is,
Like
but he may not be receiving or connecting with you because you're not communicating the right way.
Because communication is all about, conveying information or ideas from one person to the other. The whole goal is to share information.
And you want the person to be able to hear you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why do people do like this mental communication? Like you should know what I'm thinking. your couples have been around a long time, well, you should know. And I don't know, you could change or whatever the case is. Communication is not this mental telepathy. We got to talk. We got to share. We got to share now. Well, I know what you're thinking.
No,
maybe I don't
think
know.
You don't know what I'm thinking.
Obviously, I don't. Then I apologize.
I don't think
No, but when you've been around each other long, you do kind of know. Like you can finish each other's sentences, and you can kind of know. That's what make you and I a great spades team. We played spades. Are any spade players out there? Me and Pastor Isha, man, we're a great spades team. We're really good. Our one son Christian Edmondson, who still hasn't given me grandbabies yet. Shout out to Jovi. Love you, Jovi. I'm waiting for my grandbabies. But he had a friend come home and they talked stuff about playing spades. We told him, you don't want to play against us. Oh, come on, we'll beat y'all. We whipped the snot out of them did they even get out? We set them. They never made board. I think we set them. But part of it is because we've been around each other so long. We can flow with each other. But communication, in funny times, I can know what you're thinking, but in intense times or serious times, we got to convey information. We gotta share information, and so it's really being able to share that puts us on the same page. But
to express your thoughts, to express your feelings, and to try to build understanding. Between,
and if you're going to do anything great, you got to be a great communicator. If you're gonna take a team, you got a marriage.
But that takes time. It takes time. It takes effort.
It does,
and it just doesn't happen overnight. And actually, because you thought you understood what maybe I was thinking, but you weren't. I was kind of actually smirking because it took me back to some of the shows that I like that I was that I like, and I was thinking of like Married at First.
Again, I can't stand that show
because I guess I look at it from a counseling perspective. When I'm looking at it from a counseling perspective. And I'm looking at it at all the things that the people sometimes are doing wrong. And I get excited when the people, get the principles or actually doing them. But sometimes, like you're saying, they just don't tell the other person. They're just not communicating.
Right.
They just have this expectation
or
that
assume,
the other person should just understand.
Like, why do people do that?
Are. And I'm like, just tell them.
Just tell them.
I feel like I'm shouting at the TV. Just tell them how they feel. Y'all could probably have a great relationship if you just tell them and not think that the other person should know.
Yeah, they don't communicate.
Yes.
And if you don't communicate, I don't know.
Yes.
You gotta share.
Yeah.
You gotta share.
But it's interesting because sometimes, like you just said, they just think that they should know.
You just should know.
Yeah.
You should know. And I mean, if I just met you, there's no way I'm gonna know.
Yeah. And then sometimes you get an attitude, you start acting hunky. That's not the right word.
I don't know. You need to communicate.
You start acting funky. That's the word I was looking for. You start acting funky because you don't want to say, and you want really the other person to say, well, what's wrong? I don't know why the person can't just tell them what's wrong.
Just say what's
wrong. But you want the other person to ask you what's wrong, so then you can tell
I know.
them.
It's
interesting the games that we play to try to get communication to happen versus just communicating.
And I think the older you get, the better you should get. Like life, I think you and I are to play. I don't want drama. Life's too short for drama. Like, all right, let's resolve it. What's going on? Let's resolve it. I think when you're younger, you try to win arguments.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see how like you said, older people respond versus younger people.
They're like, we have a conversation. Let's go eat. But
you're like, hey, we stuck.
Yeah, like
together.
Listen. But life
keep
is
it moving. Let's just do what we supposed to do.
I remember when we were younger, we would go through those phases of not talking to each other. Like there was a time we used to let the sun go down on our wrath. We violate scripture and you're mad for a couple days. And I'm like, all that is wasted emotion and energy missing out on life. Now, I mean, that doesn't mean you don't have problems, but let's resolve it. It's not a matter of me being right or you wrong or vice versa. Let's resolve it for the good of our relationship and keep going. So communication.
Well, I look at it as, and I think I might have shared this before, like that I'm stuck with you.
Yeah, yes, you are.
We put on the table that divorce
is not an option ever.
So because divorce is not an option, because I'm stuck with you.
Yes. Now, wait, you got to say that better. Don't say that. You got to say that in a good way.
because I'm stuck with you.
That's better. Let that tone elevation go up.
Because I'm stuck with you, I don't want to live unhappy.
Yes.
And because I don't want to live unhappy, my focus is to do whatever we have to do to solve the problems, the issues, the situations, to make sure we can communicate so that we can live a happy marriage together.
Yes.
Versus if I was thinking I wasn't stuck, or that divorce was an option, I would probably be thinking, if you don't do what you need to do, then I'm out.
Right.
And I would be focused on ways to get out of the marriage.
See, I'm different. I'm stuck, but I'm stuck in I don't want to be without you.
Well, I'm at the place now that I don't want to be without you.
I said it first, though. I don't want to. I don't want to be without you. No, and it's So I don't want to kind of get diverted because I was thinking about something else, going down another road. But it's like you gotta communicate. Yeah. You gotta communicate. You can't hold things in. You can't expect other people to know. And that is such a common thing. Like if you're listening, I want to analyze yourself real quick. Where are you on that? Is that how you are? Do you communicate freely, or do you not and expect other people to know? Or like you said, honey, do you wait for people to approach you? I'm waiting for you to ask me what's wrong. So I'm moping around someplace, trying to send you a message. I'm bothered. So you'll ask me what's wrong versus just telling the person, this is how I feel. I'm bothered because of what you said or you did or whatever the case is. And so, so communicating is vitally important, but it's not the end all to be all.
Yes.
Because the mistake that people make, because some people may be listening and go, no, I'm a communicator. I tell people how I feel. I get it off my chest. I just tell them. They know where they stand. But then the question is, in your communication, are you just communicating, or are you also connecting with people? And this is important because communication is not effective if you don't connect. When you're not connecting, it's all one-sided. You got to be able to connect with people, and that starts with understanding the value of people. Understand that people are valuable, that everybody you talk to has value. I think we've said, there's an old saying we've used, people don't care what you know unless they know that you care.
But when you're focused on connecting with them, you want to make sure, not connecting, but it is connecting, but when you're communicating with somebody, truly communicating to make sure they understand that you're trying to connect with them.
Yes.
You want to make sure that they understand you.
Yes.
Because sometimes, like I said before, we could just be focusing on trying to get our point across, thinking, okay, I'm communicating with you because I'm trying to make sure you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But true communication, making sure you're connecting with them, is making sure they understand what you're saying.
Yes.
Because depending upon how you're communicating, they could be having a wall put up and not even hearing what you have to say because of maybe how you said it.
Right.
But if they really are trying to understand what you're saying, you have to be mindful too of how you communicate. So true understanding will take place so that you can then connect with one another.
Yeah, and I think when you value people and you're focusing on that value, your communication is a certain way.
Your communication is for them to understand
and more intentional,
and not just to get your point across, because you care about them versus just trying to get your point across.
Exactly right. So that's why this whole connecting mentality, having a self-inspection of, do I connect with people or do I just communicate with them? I remember years ago, early on in ministry, this has to be 30 years ago, but early on. I'm early on in ministry, the church that we were at, and I'm involved in leadership there, and really God's, beginning to elevate me to be like the right-hand person of that pastor. And I came in one Sunday and I'm given direction and orders. Hey, need you to do this, need you to do that, need you to do this. And a person stopped me and said, hey, do you care about me? And I'm like, what do you mean? Yeah. And they were like, well, you never say hello. You never acknowledge me. You never say anything. You just come in barking orders. And man, that hit me like a ton of bricks, because I realized people were perceiving that I didn't care about them. It was just about what they could do for me. And that changed me from that day, man. That changed me to, before I start barking orders or saying I need you to do this, hey, how you doing? How are you?
I think that's important though, that you even said that, because sometimes we do things and we don't even recognize what we're doing or how we're communicating, how it could be coming across to other people.
Yes.
Which is why it's important that we do communicate with other people so they can understand how we could be coming across, so that if it is legit, if it's legitimate of what they're saying, we can make adjustments. Because if you really care about people, if you really care about them and them understanding, and you have a heart for them, if there is any truth to that, you're going to make adjustments, because you want to make sure that you connect with other people.
Yes.
Your communication is connecting with them to bring understanding.
Yes, 100%. So then, let's talk about how to be effective in connecting. Okay, how to be effective in connecting. And so
I think that's important.
It is. If you know that, because we can say people can hear, okay, I need to connect, but there's a way to do it, how to do it. And so, and you do this on an individual basis. You can connect as a speaker to a group, but we're talking about relationships. We're talking about individually or in very small groups. And so, if you're going to connect with somebody, you gotta, it has to be more about, I'm talking about the other person. I'm into them and less about myself. You could be in a conversation, all you do is talk about you. All you do is talk about you. Talk about, I do this, I do that, I do this. And the other person, man, you're not connected with them at all, because you're making it about you.
Yeah, you got to ask questions to get to know the other people.
Yeah.
So that they, feel that you do care about them, and you're just not, maybe showboating.
Yes.
Or, just want to talk about
yourself. Be conscious of, how to compliment other people.
Yeah.
Compliment other people. Tell people, I'm looking at, your glasses are nice.
Look for ways to
I'm talking about your glasses. Your glasses are nice.
Again, because it's not about me right now.
Your hair is beautiful.
But you're looking for ways to inspire them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's add value, but it's complimenting.
But you know what you just made me think about with that? Because some women could feel, that when a man does that, are they really saying that because they really mean that, or do they want something?
Yeah, and you got to be mindful.
In the process.
You can't, I never would do that to a.
So you need to be mindful.
I'm never going to say. I'm saying that to you.
Doing that. So
you can say, "Hey, you're an awesome person."
The greatest time to do that, men, is not in the bedroom.
Well, that's to you, right?
But maybe when you're out to dinner, you know what I'm saying, or different things.
But I couldn't compliment a woman like I just complimented you.
No.
I would never do that as a married man. I might go, man, thank you for adding value to our team. Thank you for this, whatever the case is. But complimenting people, telling somebody, man, you add value to our team, or I appreciate you, or whatever the case, is. Oh, man, those sneaks are nice, those sneaks are hot, or whatever. Yeah. But, really looking for ways to add value to people. How can I add value? And it doesn't take a lot. Sometimes that's just writing somebody a note going, man, thank you for what you did. I know you and we thank people for serving all the time.
Yeah.
So thank you for serving. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you serving, what you're doing. And that goes a long way.
It does.
I know when people are personally serving us, helping us, waiting on us. My thing is about them. I'm like, hey, it's your family waiting for you in the car.
Yeah.
You go ahead and go. Because that's adding value to people.
I think that's important, because people don't have to do those things.
Right.
So they're helping you to expand the kingdom of God, or they care about you, so you should turn around and just show you 100%. How much you care about them.
I think another way to connect with people is, not taking credit for stuff. When a team succeeds, you want to take the credit, but when it fails, you want to cast blame. I know you and I, man, we take a lot of joy in, we could be behind closed doors helping to plan the success of an event. But man, when that event is successful, we just give the credit to everybody. So and so did great, whatever. Because it doesn't do any good building yourself up.
No.
Doesn't do any good giving yourself. So people won't feel you're connecting with them when you're taking all the credit.
Yeah.
And then when it's time to blame, you look for somebody to blame. I appreciate the fact that you and I take personal responsibility for everything that goes on at the church, at Victory. If things, go wrong, we don't look to blame. We're personally responsible. So how can we correct it? And I think that plays a part in us connecting with people, because we're looking to build people up.
Yeah.
We're looking to make them feel good and help them succeed. And so you connect with people. When we just sat at a table with somebody just recent, man, and talking about their business and, encouraging them and all of those, things, so, and I think, you connect with people, man, when you find ways to help, celebrate. The team celebrate, people celebrate.
Or let them know that you appreciate what they have done.
Yes.
And, the different accomplishments that they have made and even help you make. I think that's why it's important that, different times that, even with our serving partners, where we've, recognized them or done the picnics or different things. Or, we make sure that, our different ministries take time to recognize them and honor them. Or we have, our VIPs for the month, because we could not do what we do, without great people. But
we're not the team. We're not the team.
Try to, to connect with them and let them know how much, we appreciate them.
So we make that time to celebrate the success of the team together. We celebrate, the whole team. Everybody plays a part. At the church, everybody plays a part. The parking lot to the back door, everybody plays a part. And so, when you celebrate the team, don't celebrate you celebrate the team, you celebrate people, it causes this connection. And when you're successful in connection, man, people feel you care. They feel you care. Nobody on the team should ever go, do you really care about me? They should know you care.
They should know that you're excited to be with them.
Yes.
And sometimes it can get hard, because especially when you're busy, you're multitasking, and I can say ouch to that sometimes, because 9 times out of 10, I am always multitasking. And that doesn't mean that I'm not excited to be in a person's presence or something, but you have to sometimes be intentional to let them know that.
Yes.
And, that was something I was just telling our youngest son, sometimes we got to learn how to balance to make all the different people that are in our, our sphere, to make them know that we care about them.
Yes. And
sometimes that means you got to schedule that time. Because you can be just so busy, so that you can truly connect with them.
Yeah. So, when you can...
And not just say I love you, because you can say I love you to somebody, but your actions will...
Don't say that.
...will speak more volume.
Actions speak louder than words.
And your actions will actually help you connect more 100%. Than just saying something.
100%. So when you really are connecting well, man, people feel you care about them. They feel you're there to help them. And when you help somebody, that's a great thing.
They feel that they can trust you times too in the process.
Yeah, when they really know that you care, when you connect with them, that's when that trust, comes in. And so, if you're gonna connect, because you can't just, some people pride themselves on being great communicators, but they're poor connectors. And if you're really going to connect, there's some things you need to keep in mind, that we found down through the years. But, connecting it's all about other people. It's other people, and it begins with people feeling valued. You got to make people feel valued. Make them feel they're important and they're valued. Connecting, it goes beyond words. It's the stuff you do. What can you do to connect with people? What can you do? Because the more you do it, it's beyond words, man. What can you do to connect with people?
Like we said, actions speak louder than words.
They do.
Times.
They do. I think you said something a little while ago about talking with our youngest son. About being intentional. And I know you and I have had that conversation more and more about just, if you're going to connect, it requires intentionality and energy. It requires, you got to be intentional. I'm going to get with this person, or I'm going to get with this group. Being intentional, sacrificing your time, but it's worth it, because when you connect with people in your team, people will go the extra mile for you.
And the larger the team, the more energy that's required in order to connect.
Yes, that's very true.
Everybody says, I want a bigger church, but actually,
but do you really?
It takes more time. It takes more effort. It takes more energy.
It does.
And more intentionality.
Yes.
In order to make sure you're connecting, which is why I think, like you said earlier, somebody said to me, do you care?
Right.
Because, we have so many people, we have over 1,000 people that come to this ministry, every single week, and it can come across that maybe you don't care because you're trying to focus on so many things that you have to be mindful and trying to be intentional in connecting and take more energy in it to make sure that people still know that you care.
Yeah. And so I want, if you're listening or watching out whatever platform you're on right now, where are you on that concerning, being intentional with connecting people around you?
People got to recognize that it's, connecting is about a skill. It's not a natural talent.
Right.
It takes work. It takes
effort.
Work.
It takes effort. It takes
and
intentionality.
It takes time to acquire and improve. I think sometimes we just think it just comes natural.
Right.
But, it takes time and effort to
100%.
In order to
100%.
make sure that we're connecting properly. And the best way to know that you're connecting is asking.
100%. Yes.
It's asking, because
people that'll be honest with you.
We think many times we're doing something.
We do.
We think we're connecting.
Yes.
Or think we're doing a great job. And it's interesting because some of the people that have said some stuff to us today, we're like, I would have never known that, especially not from those people.
Right.
Yep. But, it can be a wake-up call that, hey, we need to be more mindful, make some adjustments and make some changes, to make sure that people in all areas and scopes recognize that, we care and that we're connecting with them.
So this is a good self-inspection question for people listening or watching. Where do you think you stand on connecting with people, and then who can you go ask for them to give you some feedback? Hey, do you think I'm a good connector? Do you think do you think I cause people to feel I care about them? Even how that person feels. Somebody that's going to tell you what you really need to hear, not what you want to hear.
Yeah.
Is really, really good. And so those are some connection keys, and we're wrapping up. But man, if you're really going to be a successful communicator and connector, man, you gotta you gotta find common ground.
Yeah.
You got to find this common ground with people.
Look for, it's interesting, and we talked about this, I think, in one of the other podcasts, because I'm a kind of person where I want to find common ground.
Yeah.
I want to be able to communicate people. I want to be able to have discussions. But sometimes, like we said, it doesn't just necessarily come natural.
Right.
And I'm a kind of person where I will I'll do searches for questions to be able to come up to conversate with people, to get to know them better.
Yes.
I do that with me and you.
Yeah.
Because,
You do.
When we go away, how can I get to know you better? Because I want us to connect more, because they say every 10 years people grow and they grow differently.
Right.
And so we want to be able to get to know. And so now they've got all types of, cards, whether it be with your friends or with your family, of different things that can help you not just communicate, but truly connect to get to know one another, so they really feel that you really care.
Yes.
People, some of my family thinks I'm kind of strange with that. Oh my God, she's bringing out the cards again. She's bringing out the cards again. But it's because I really want to connect.
Yeah.
I really want to know my family, because I really want to not do what I think I should do, but what's important to them.
And I think with the season of life we're in now that our kids are grown and we're really empty nesters. We got one son that lives at home, but he's never there.
Yeah.
He just sleeps there. If we didn't take the time to invest and keep investing, you could be strangers.
Yeah.
You have nothing in common. So, if you're a young couple watching this, or you're a person you've been married a short period of time, life goes fast.
Yeah.
Before you know it, you're going to be where we are, and you want to make sure you've invested in that time to not only communicate with your spouse, but connect with your spouse.
Yeah.
So that you have this foundation. Once your kids are grown, it's just you and I. And I can truly say, you and I have more time together now than we ever have, and we love it. We love being with each other. We love hanging with each other because we've connected, and we keep connecting.
I miss the family altogether.
I don't. I'm glad they're gone.
I look forward to the grandbabies.
Yeah, me too. That's what I want. I don't want them. I want what they can give me. Give me the grandbabies. And so as we're wrapping this up, man, this whole thing, has been on just dealing with both communicating and connecting and understanding the importance of both of them. You gotta be a good communicator, and so you need to analyze that about yourself. But then you can't just be a master communicator. You gotta be a good connector.
Yeah.
And I think the last couple years has shown us, coming out of COVID and all those things, that life is short. And connecting with people is important, because you know how much time you have.
You want to make sure you're being intentional, not just communicating, but connecting.
Yeah. And when you do, man, God puts people around you that you could do great things with.
Amen.
The team around us,
That's kingdom alignment.
It is. That's what we're in this new year. It's kingdom alignment. And that's what these topics.
God will align you with people that you need to know to help you do what God has called
Absolutely.
you to be.
You keep doing. I'm gonna give you an offering. You're preaching. That's good. But it's that's what this new year is about.
Yeah.
This new year that we've just launched into, it's about kingdom alignment, and which is how I think, what I say, what I do. And so you got to be thinking about your circle around you and saying things concerning that circle and doing things so that now the people that God put in your sphere of influence, you can do great things together. This has been really, really good. I hope y'all enjoyed this today, man. If this is your first time, man, you need to do three things. You need to subscribe. You need to subscribe today because there's all type of content you can go back and look at. You need to share it with somebody because there's other people that need to hear what you're hearing and what you've heard. But then 3, if you're new, you need to go look at the other stuff we've dropped already. We're going to be dropping stuff every week, but we've dropped multiple things already that really will help you, different topics and things that will help you. But then your subscription will cause you to be aware every time we drop new content. So make sure you do that today, right now, and get the word out. Well, we got to go, man. This has been good. I always enjoy talking with you. I love communicating and connecting with you. So see, I know what she meant by that. Very good. All right, well, you listen to this, man. Meditate on this and join us next time. We'll see you again right here on the what?
The Victory Experience.